Hi there, day 7. So today I want to talk about sliding doors, missed opportunities, or endless possibilities. Imagine that you are walking down a street and there is an option to go left, to go right, to go straight on, or to go somewhere in between. There may be 5 options to take. So which way do you go? Do you go left? Do you go right? Do you listen to your heart? Do you listen to your intuition? Do you follow the smell of the air that's fresh? Do you go for excitement? Do you go for adventure? Do you go for safety? Do you go for danger? Do you go for a path that's least trodden or one that's well formed? You see, each part of your life, there are many opportunities, many possibilities. And if you were to walk, I'll share a story with you if I may. It's a story a friend told me. And this story is quite old. So my friend, who was a real friend, who was an artist, he, 20 years ago, walked into a post office to buy a stamp. Now, he could have not bothered to go to that post office. He could have gone to a different post office. But he chose to go to this post office. And opposite the post office was a bookstore. So when he came out of the post office after buying his stamp to post a letter, he crossed over and the bookstore called him. Now, was it fate that he went into this bookstore? Was it his curiosity for books that led him to this bookstore? Or was it the window display that called him there? Or did he want to discover something about a certain way of painting? Well, it could have been any of those number of things, but he was called to go into this bookstore, and he went into this bookstore and he found a book by an author he really admired, somebody who he respected and loved the work of, and he bought the book and studied the book and learnt a lot about how to paint certain things. It was a wildlife animal, actually. And so he used this book for inspiration. And he was so lovingly accepting of this book and loved reading this book. And he read it over and over, and he learned this technique from this book, that what actually happened eventually was something marvellous. He got the opportunity to go to beautiful places around the world, in Africa, where he actually got to see these gorgeous animals that he wanted to paint for real. And he got to meet the author of this book, whom he admired and respected. This is years later. And not only that, but one of this author's books he got to illustrate with his own work. So you see, that's an amazing example of sliding doors and opportunities. What happened, what would have happened, should I say, if he hadn't have gone into that bookstore? What would his life have looked like then? And there's another opportunity to look at. Think about somebody that you meet randomly, somebody that you notice who's just walking along the street or looking into a shop window or in a cafe. And maybe it's a street you walk down not very often. Or maybe it's a street you've never walked down before. And you notice somebody and they really catch your eye and you end up talking with them. And this leads to some amazing work you share together, and you maybe collaborate together. It could lead to something romantic. It could lead to an amazing friendship. Even going into a supermarket, you don't know who you get to meet. This morning I had to go and buy some paint, and I went last night, but I was late, so I came back and I went again this morning. And there's this beautiful woman who's not usually there. And I know we were meant to connect because we started talking and she was sharing what she's studying to do and what she wants to be. And so I took an interest and asked her some questions. And it just transpired that we're really on the same page on our spiritual journey and helping people and that kind of thing. And so it was a really powerful conversation while we were getting the paint sorted, and she was mixing the paint for me. And I taught her a technique, how to protect herself, and she hadn't come across this technique before. So she said, wow, that's brilliant, I'll definitely use that. So that was a purpose of me being there, her being there, and us connecting. Later on, I was at the supermarket, and I just hopped into my local supermarket. I don't normally go there for very much. And as I left the supermarket, as I was walking away with all my stuff, well, actually, before that, at the checkout, I couldn't open. I bought some carrot juice, some organic carrot juice, which is really delicious. It's just got organic carrot juice and organic lemon juice. It's really good for you. And I was trying to open the bottle because I was very thirsty and I wanted a drink. I couldn't open it. The lady at the checkout couldn't open it, and she handed it to this guy who was going to be served after me. He was a big burly guy, and I went, look, if you can't open it. And he went, opened it. I went, thank you very much. And I took a couple of swigs, and I was like, oh, that's amazing. Then he turned around and he said, just as I was leaving, what is that stuff? I've not seen it before. And I showed him. He said, that's brilliant. Has it got sugar in? I said, no, it hasn't got any sugar in. He said, that's fantastic. I said, it's really good for you. So I know that that message had to reach him. And then as I walked up the empty aisles where everybody was just, you know, packing their bags and everything, there was an old elderly gentleman in a wheelchair who was quietly waiting for the person who was with him to fill up the trolley. Obviously it helped him go shopping, and he caught my eye, and I just smiled at him because I was still smiling, because I'm usually smiling, and it was all lovely. All these little encounters were making me smile. And he looked at me and he gave me the most beautiful, open, gorgeous smile. His whole face lit up, and I gave him back the most beautiful smile too, because it was so lovely. And it was like, hello, how are you? It's so gorgeous to see you. I wish you well. All wrapped up in this smile without words. And so I know that that was the purpose of me going to that particular supermarket. And it was a wonderful encounter. You know, you never know if you are on your way to work and you choose to take a different path for whatever reason, different road, whether you're walking, different bus, different train, whatever it might be. And it's because your intuition has shown you that this is what has to happen. And there's always a reason for it. So if you get the urge or the slight inclination to do something slightly differently, or you know, go back home to pick up something, or whatever it is, listen to the intuition, because it's leading you on a path that you need to be on. And it's really exciting. So yeah, follow your intuition. Make sure those sliding doors, don't miss out on these beautiful opportunities that are coming your way. When something comes, it's like a cloud, it comes into your vicinity. And if you don't grab the opportunity and seize the moment, seize the day, then you'll miss out on that opportunity. And somebody else will seize it, because the cloud will just pass by. Somebody else will notice it. Now, that's not to say there won't be more opportunities, but if you keep missing them, and if you keep ignoring them, even though they're there in your vicinity, you'll miss out on magical experiences, even if it's just connecting for a second with somebody and giving them a big, beautiful smile, and for them responding with another lovely smile for you. So be mindful. Every day, be aware, be alert, be present. Be really present and pay attention to what life is showing you, because life gives you beautiful experiences and opportunities and opens the door to amazing possibilities. Make sure that you are on the right side of that, and you're always on the lookout for what's next. What's next? What's next? Have a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye for now.